fucking party.
Let's do it. We got the MMAOB Daily Podcast Sunday, August 25th, 2024. We got Alex Bahunin from MMA Mania hyped up right here. What do you got, Monster?
Fucking party, bro.
Holy shit, dude. Are you on steroids? You're not going to pass.
Ultra strawberry dreams, bro. Ultra strawberry dreams. I'm fucking pumped.
Clean Sport has got you on the radar, buddy. You are testing positive for something, man. Marcel, what's going on, man? Are you good?
I'm doing well, man. You're just going to ask me a question when I take a sip of my drink. I'm doing well, man. All good.
I got a beer, guys. So here we go. I got a Stiegel, Marcel. You know this one? Stiegel?
No idea.
German.
Idea.
So good.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not German. But enjoy it. I think it was a good card, man, last night. I mean, I really enjoyed the main card.
I didn't even tee it up, but yeah, we're going to talk about UFC Vegas 96. And we got Alex because you were there. So
I was.
I mean, Marcel, like you were going on about it, but like I mean, we'll just get into it. Why not? But I was just gonna get some comments first before we jumped into it, Marcel. That's okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
We got Joe in the chat. We got Anakin. That's not his real name, but yeah. True. What's up, man? Octon update. 4 ounce to freedom. That's Zach. Crazy Pop. We got some really good guys in the chat today, so looking forward to having a good show here. And we got, like I said, our man on the grounds, Alex Bahoun, who was there last night for UFC Vegas 96. It looks like there's a question here. I don't know. Pato, if you have a question, throw it in quickly because we want to get into this card. Because I think it was a fucking great card, personally. Again, I want to get Alex in because he was there. Got Daniel Edwards. I think it was really good, man. Oh, yeah. Azamat and Krylov. Yeah, that's the rumor for MSG, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
It's not. I haven't been able to confirm it, but it's definitely in the works, or it's maybe even signed. But it's definitely the next one.
Dude, what a step down for Krylov. That's crazy.
Azamat he's undefeated in the UFC, right? But he's 35 though, so he's got to, you know, it's now or never. All right, so let's get into UFC Vegas 96, guys. Again, Alex, you were there. Again, it's always a different experience when you're there in person, whereas watching on TV. But from my vantage point, man, watching at home on my couch or my bed, I should say, I was just lying in bed watching it. But you know what? Like, dude, I thought it was a great card personally. Like, I really did. I thought it was one of the better Apex cards of the year, and I think it's a card a lot of people would have skipped. And I think they kind of missed out if they skipped it because I think it was a great card. And I want to get your guys' thoughts. I'll start with you, Marcel, just because you were already talking and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'll get your thoughts. Just wanted to give the guys in the chat a shout out first. But what do you think, Marcel? Because for me, like I thought it was a great card. What did you think?
Yeah, let's just not let it happen again, Adam. But okay,
I'm so excited to talk about it.
I thought it was a fun card, man. I mean, I enjoyed it watching it. I pretty much enjoyed almost all main card fights. I also watched the prelims. I mean, it was a great opening, obviously, and after that, we got a lot of decisions, pretty much as I expected, and they were dragging it out. We had 1 minute fight in like the first 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then we had like 4 or 5 decisions or 4 decisions, and they barely could keep it in between the time. So it was like, typical again, but. Was not really a real bad. I didn't like the Cavalcanti Nunes fight, but overall, I thought it was a great card. I enjoyed it.
Alex, your thoughts? Because you were on the grounds, obviously, you were there, cage side. What do you think?
I think it turned out to be a good card. I think I was just jaded because I was at the Road to UFC the previous night. I was like, that card almost made me stay home. Like, I was just like, fuck. Like, I want to fucking. And plus, then I was at Contender Series. Like, it was just a long fucking week. Plus, media day was like long. So it was just like a long, drawn out week. And I was like, but it's like, why am I bitching? Like, I'm living my dream job, right? Like, I'm watching these fights. But it's just like, that Road to UFC really like drained me.
I understand.
and then it was like, it's just like the fucking. The card's gonna go late. It's a weird late start time, and then the first fight ends in a minute or whatever, and then it's like a long time. Like, fuck, bro, this is gonna be a fucking long time. So I was kind of like jaded going into it, but thankfully it turned out to be a good card.
What you're saying is completely fair. Like, again, it's a different experience covering it in person. And you, Marcel, you've covered a few cards in person too. It's completely different. Like, especially you, Alex, you're working the card. You have to wait around. And yeah, I mean, I actually after the in the Discord, I was like, watch Kong's going to knock out Victoria in a minute or 2 minutes. I said there was 1 minute, and then there's going to be a 30-minute break. And that's exactly what happened. We had the 30 minutes of what is it, Alan Juban, and who else was there? Kieran Bryant. I don't even know who was there anymore. I can't even think about it.
I don't even listen. Nothing against these guys, but I don't even watch that in between fights. By the way, I had to take a shit, so it was perfect at that moment. But
Time
I mean,
worked out then.
yeah, but it's just annoying, man. You know, it's like stop dragging it. You know, I mean, just do a little extra. For example, do like 5 minutes in between a fight, and you still work through it. You know what I mean? But they are go ahead.
You know, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know why they decided to put this card on ESPN, especially with college football starting yesterday.
Yeah,
like,
week 0.
Like, why not put this on ESPN Plus and start it like in the middle of the day? You know,
it's
always
weird. Trouble. It's always trouble when it's on big ESPN, man. It's always the same shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Especially like college football started yesterday. It fucking slams the UFC in views. Like you know.
That's what she said.
Yeah. No, totally understandable. Like I'll be completely honest. I did not watch that Road to UFC card, but what I heard was brutal. There was one finish, right? One knockout.
Main event. I had left before that.
What time did that card start at? Was that a later card too?
Yeah, I mean it was 2 episodes. The first one started at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock at night. It was just like,
yeah, no, I'd be honest, I didn't watch it. I did watch PFL and Contender. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Me too.
Anyways, a couple comments I should say. A few about Kyle. We'll talk about him in a minute. Just this question here. Yeah, Blake, what's up? I think the Bruno Brazil, like when she lost, I don't know if she was with the Fighting Nerds yet. I think maybe
Farias dude was. He says UFC/Contender, but the Farias dude lost in the Contender series.
Right. Good call. So yeah, I mean, I guess they got to fix that. But yeah, I mean, Fighting Nerds are a great team.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the PFL, I mean, their pacing's always bad. Let's be honest. A couple other comments. We got Larry in the chat. Clawson watched. Yeah. No, I understand. Again, it's just a different experience. You're covering it live. Like the night goes longer. You know, it just feels longer. Especially Alex, because he's fucking running back and forth, asking these guys questions, and then running back to the cage. So I get it, right? You're going back and forth, right? Yeah. So I get it, man.
It depends. Like if it's someone I want to talk to, I'll run back. If not,
but the thing is, dude, like I'll be honest, I watch all the post fight and pre fight. Like,
listen,
no offense to the other guys, but I don't care about their questions. I usually only care about Alex's questions. He's the only guy that's asking you questions.
Adam, bro lives in Vegas, has good weather. I have no compassion.
It's hot there. Marcel, trust me, as a big guy myself, you fucking die there, bro.
Yeah, I think so too.
Die there, man.
Yeah,
it's so hot, bro. Alex, how hot is it right now?
Like, they would have large for days. Yeah.
How hot was it?
No, it's 90 degrees. It's actually starting to go down.
No idea what 90 degrees is, dude. But
we use Celsius in Canada. You're in
hold on.
90 F to C. Let's see.
Yeah.
32, Marcel. Yeah, you'd be.
That's still hot. Yeah.
I know. Dude, every time I've been there, I went twice. I've only been there twice, but yeah, it's hot. Anyways.
Yeah, the hottest they got this year was 116 degrees. Fucking crazy.
And it's dry heat, right?
Right?
Yeah, it's dry. I mean, that's the thing is like, yeah, it's brutal, but like it's dry heat, and if you're like not directly under the sun, it's
Florida is much.
Ooh, yeah. I went over there for the Jake Paul fight. Holy fuck!
I saw your tweets about that. It's a different. It's like
dude.
That's humidity. You're in.
Bro, it takes your fucking breath away. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Florida before. I was a kid, but I haven't been, since. But I gotta start going down there again. But yeah, it's hot, man. Just I gotta go in the winter. Craig, what's up, man? Glad to have you in the chat. We got Cole in the chat, or one of our good friends here, Cole Shell, one of the best journalists in MMA. All right, let's get into the fights, guys. Oh, we got Antoine as well. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out. We always appreciate you guys.
Bro, let's fucking go.
Look at Alex, man. He's fucking pumped. How many steroids did you take today? Jesus Christ.
I'm on that fucking D-ball, bro. Let's fucking go.
Honest question. Can you train at the PI? Like, can regular people train there, or is it?
I mean, if I ask a fighter to like get me in, like I can
tag around with them, videotape them. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, no, they don't even allow videotaping in the PI.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I know, like if I asked like a US fair, like, hey, can I go with you? They'll be like, yeah, come in, you can train with me. But
he's going to ask Charles Strickland, can I spar with you? Yeah, come on, motherfucker.
It's funny. All right, let's get into the card. Okay, so we'll work our way down from the main event. Picks wise, Marcel and I had a pretty good night, 8-3 each. So pretty good night, Marcel. It's funny. Marcel sent me a message last night. He's like, by the way, I went 8-3 just so you don't have to ask me again tomorrow. Yeah. He never fucking remembers. Let's get into the fights though. For main event, I'm pretty sure all three of us picked Caio Borralho. I'm pretty sure you did, Alex. We didn't have you for the preview, but I'm assuming you picked him. Fight of the night, phenomenal fight. I mean, I think it was one of the better fights of the year. I think it was a great fight. Caio came out strong, won the first round. Second round, Jared comes back, wins the second round, looks very strong in the second round. You're starting to think, wow, this is going to be a close fight. and then Borralho wins the third round. Fourth round is tight. I scored it for Borralho. I know some people scored it for Cannonier. I think you can go either way in that one personally. The judges, let me look at the scorecards right now. Two of the judges had Borralho in the third, or actually no, sorry, all three had it for Borralho. Okay, so fourth round. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the fourth round. Excuse me. Yeah, two of the judges had it for Borralho. Chris Lee had it for Cannonier, and then the fifth round, that's pretty much where Borralho really took over, dropping Jared with like a minute left. I don't know how Jared woke up from that punch that dropped him. You were right there, Alex, sitting cage side. It looked like he was out for a sec, but woke way back up. It's almost like he got knocked down and woke back up, which we've seen before. And then that choke was pretty tight too. Doesn't tap. 3 10-8 rounds there. I'm fine with the 10-8, by the way. I think that's totally fair. So overall, Caio Borralho wins 49-45, 48-46, 49-45. Biggest win of his career, 7-0 now in the UFC. He's a serious title contender. Biggest win of his career. I mean, I think all three of us love this guy. Like, there's what's not to like. He is a phenomenal fighter. He's a great guy from all accounts. Great interview, Alex. You're always there. Great with the media. Just a guy that won a Contender Series, beat Aaron Jeffrey, Canadian fighter, who's very tough opponent. To be honest, had kind of a boring fight though. Right? They didn't sign him right away. They're like, nah, you got to come back for another one. Destroys that dude. I can't remember the guy's name, but he wasn't very good. Knocks him out in about a minute, right? Then they, bring him into the UFC, and he's just been doing nothing but winning. What's his name, Marcel? What's his name?
Weight class up. It was a weight class up.
It was the 205, right? Yeah. So anyways, they bring him in the UFC, and he's just been winning all his fights since then. So I'll just get your guys' thoughts on the fight. I'll start with you, Alex, since you were there. I mean, I fight of the night, obviously. It was an amazing fight.
Yeah, no, it was for sure. And it's just a legit win. The only knock on I'll give is I feel like he should have finished Jared in that fifth round. And I don't know if you Jared's tough, right? But the way he went down, I just feel like that was a very finishable fight. So I am going to knock him for that. I don't know if he has the best finishing ability. I mean, he's only knocked out Paul Craig and then he tapped Michael, but
Oh, by the way, the guy's name was Jesse Murray. That's the guy who knocked out the Contender. Right. That guy's not good at all.
So I mean, and I know a lot of it was Dan, the fucking ref, Dan Merliotto, laying it go a little bit longer, but still, I still feel like he should have finished Jared Cannonier. That's my only knock on him. But other than that, man, really good performance. Checked a lot of boxes. Like you said, man, he speaks English. He looks good. He has a fun personality. And most importantly with this fight, I think we all kind of figured his path to victory was he's going to try and take Jared down or kind of hug him against the cage, but he stood with him for 5 rounds. And I think that really showed a lot. And I think that maybe he took the criticism to heart and he's heard the criticism he's not the most exciting fighter, and he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna fucking strike with Jared Cannonier who's very dangerous and who can knock me out, and I'm gonna show people what's up. I
mean, I think that the clearer path, the easier path was takedowns, right?
Right.
Jared does have good takedown defense, but I still think Kyle could have taken him down. I just looked at the stats. He only attempted 1 takedown the whole fight, right? The only time he got him down was after the knockdown.
Yeah.
I agree that there was a chance he could have finished. I will say that, and I'm looking at the comments, and I agree. The comments after Jared's last fight with Jason Hurd stopping it too early, I think Big Dan, everyone knows about that, so they're probably okay, give this guy a chance. And I'm sure Jared in the back was don't fucking stop it unless I'm unconscious, right? So I think that's also a part of it. You could have stopped that fight, I think, but I also don't mind it going on personally. He didn't get finished. He still was breathing, although he went to the hospital, right? You reported that, Alex?
Yeah.
So he took some serious damage. Also, Caio took some serious damage too. That cut was pretty nasty, right? You were right there. He had the skin hanging from his face.
Nasty.
That was
nasty.
some serious damage. So I mean, it was a brutal war. They both got $50K for their handiwork in this fight. I just thought it was a great fight, honestly. I really liked this fight. I think there was a few fight of the night contenders. It's funny because there was that shit Apex card 2 weeks ago, Alex. You were there. I think Spivak versus Tamura. That was, to me, the low point of the year. I think that was the worst card. Right, Marcel? You agree with me on that one? Terrible card.
Which one was it again?
Spivak Tamura, when they just had 3 finishes, 3 bonuses.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah,
it was garbage. Great. They didn't even have a fight of the night. This card, I think there was multiple fight of the nights, potentially. So, Yeah, and Marcel, I want to get your thoughts on the fight. I know you liked Caio's performance.
I mean, a great fight from Caio, man. I mean, I think he made a statement by striking with Jared for almost 25 minutes. He only didn't strike with him when he knocked him down and he went into the ground. So I said after the second round, I think to you in the Discord, like he has to grapple to win here, man. But then he turned it around again, and he did very well. I'm happy to see, man, because I think Caio is a very fun guy to watch, and I think he's a very cool guy as well. He comes across really good. He learned English pretty quick. Good for him, and I always liked Caio, man. So I'm happy for him. And Jared's just super tough. To reply to Alex about he should have finished him. Yeah, maybe. On the other hand, how many judges are how do you say that? Referees would have stopped the fight at that moment, which would have been okay if he stopped it, man. I'm actually happy he didn't, because if he stopped the fight, then Jared probably would say, like, again, an early stoppage, and I would have agreed with him pretty much. You know what I mean? So it's okay that it went the full 5 rounds. And I think it's really smart the way Caio approached Jared, because I like Jared personally. I think he's a great fighter, but I always feel like Jared feels really like disrespected by a lot of fans for what he has done in the sport and where he is in the division. And Caio was super respectful to him. Thank you for taking this, for giving me this opportunity. This was perfect, man. You saw also Jared was really respectful towards him the whole time, and I liked it a lot, man. It was a great fight, and in my opinion, one of the better fights this year. So,
I would say it's probably one of the top 10 fights of the year, and I can't think of too many more. And by the way, I would say this too. I feel like middleweight is kind of having a resurgence right now. I think it's one of the better divisions right
1,000%.
now. And for years, right, people are like, middleweight sucks because you had Anderson Silva is a real dominant champ. Then you had the belt changing hands every year. Then you had Izzy as a dominant champ. Where, I mean, you look at Izzy's kind of run; he was kind of styling on all these guys. Now you got Drakus at the top; he's an amazing fighter. And then you got guys like Caio. You have any contenders there right now, Alex? It's like Sean Strickland, Kyle Borralho, Brendan Allen. There's Erdine Imavov. Who else am I forgetting? Robert Whitaker, Hamzat Chimaev. Like, all these guys are waiting for a title shot, and they're all deserving in some respects. So, what are you saying, Virgil? Sorry,
it's fun.
It's fun. It is fun. I mean, there's a lot of fights. So I was going to ask you guys, what's next? Because he called out Drakus. He's not getting that fight, and I don't like the call out. That's the only knock.
That was another.
Right?
That's another ding for me personally. Like, bro, like you have to be more self-aware. Like, I feel like if you would have called Izzy out, that would have been an A+ call out.
And I think everyone on Twitter would have been like, "That's the fight to make. That's the one." Yeah. I still think it is. I think it's a great fight, because the thing is, Izzy's in a weird spot now. He's lost 2 straight fights. He's lost 3 or 4. And there's like 5 guys ahead of him now. Not saying in the rankings, but in the title shot queue. If Izzy wants to get back to a title shot, which I think is still possible, I don't know if he'll be the champ. I think it's possible he could get the title shot again. He has to win probably 2 or 3 more fights, so he'd have to beat Kyle Borralho. I think that's a good fight. I don't mind that. And the other fight is, and some of you guys in the chat are talking about too, the winner of Imavov and Allen, I think, is also a good fight. Like, Brendan Allen's won, I think, 8 straight fights, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle's won 7 straight. Like, these guys are deserving. But the problem is, you got Sean Strickland that went toe-to-toe with Drakus. I was cage side for that. Fight was super close. Like, I don't mind a rematch for that fight. And Sean just beat Costa. But what are you hearing about this? You hearing anything? Like, in Vegas, you hearing anything about the potential title shot?
Yeah. If all goes to plan, I think Drakus and Sean are going to fight in December. But it's
nice.
It's really far from happening. That's
in Vegas,
kind of
baby?
Vegas for sure.
It makes sense, right? Doesn't it? I think it does.
1,000%. I will say I think Kyle's fourth behind the queue. I think it's Strickland. I think it's Whitaker. Then it's Brendan Allen. Then it's Caio.
Also Hamzat too. I mean,
Hamzat. Exactly, Hamzat. I mean, I don't think any of us think he deserves a fucking title shot, but in the UFCI, for some reason, he's up there. I would do. It's tough. I think Izzy's a clear great choice. If Izzy doesn't want to fight these up and comers and he just kind of wants money fights, then I think Caio should fight the winner of Brendan and Nasruddin, or maybe he, since he fought up with Jared, maybe he fights down and fights the winner of Fluffy versus Michelle. Like, I think that's another one.
Yeah. And then for Jared, what do you think? Marcel, you want to give some?
Yeah, the UFC probably thinks that Jack Hermanson deserves a title shot, but I think Caio. I like Caio versus Adesanya, man. Why not? Why wouldn't we do that? And it's good to see. I mean, Caio strike for almost 5 rounds with Jared. Obviously, Adesanya is a great striker, but can Adesanya go down with Borralho to the ground? And will he use that against Adesanya?
The only thing I'll say is I'm pretty sure they'll try to use Izzy as a main event again for a pay-per-view, right? Wouldn't they? He's still one of their cash cows. No?
Main event of a pay-per-view? No.
You don't think so?
No.
A co-main event?
Co-main event or fight night.
Is he on fight night? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
They said they were thinking about Sydney in February. They can use him as a co-main event there, right?
I assume they were going to put Dan Hooker as the main event for that card.
They are going to. They're going. They're going to Australia twice next year for four pay-per-views. 4 pay-per-views.
Oh, 2 pay-per-views in Australia?
Yeah.
So it's a big market for them right now, obviously.
Yeah, well, it's just the deal that they signed.
Right.
Yeah, and then for Cannonier, man, he's in a tough spot. I think probably Paulo Costa's the fight.
I like that fight too. I was thinking the same thing.
I do know that there's Chris Curtis is calling for that. RoboCop's calling for that fight.
Yeah, those are some good fights too.
RoboCop has a fight, right?
He's fighting in December, but he doesn't have an opponent. He's calling for Paulo Costa.
He's fighting in Vegas too, or he's fighting in Tampa?
Florida,
Tampa.
Yeah, he is.
Tampa. Yeah. I think it's Jared Cannonier versus Paulo Costa. I think that's the fight. Or like I said, or Fluffy versus Piera.
Jared's gonna need some time off, but maybe he can come back in December. But yeah, I mean, all those fights make sense. All right. Just to be mindful of time, guys, and there's a ton of comments in here, but I mean, we're half an hour in basically. We only have one fight done, so we got to keep going here. Let's go to the co-main event here. Not a ton to say about this fight, I guess, but we had Tabitha Ricci. Oh, go ahead. Where is
I rewatched the fight, man, and I actually want to come back to that fight because I think Hill against Ricci.
Sure.
I think Hill won 2 and 3 after rewatching.
Oh, you rewatched it? Okay, so I only watched it the one time. I bet on Hill.
Me too.
Full disclosure. My 3 bets were Borralho, who won, Hill, who lost, and then Cavalcante, who barely won. So I managed to have a winning night, Alex, but I was fucking sweating balls on this one, man.
Well, I did a parlay. I did a parlay with Marion Santos, Ryan Loder, and Angela Hill. And
oh god, yeah, I thought she'd win because I know she's 39, but she looked career best in her last fight. Looked amazing at the weigh-ins. Like everything was checking the boxes. Obviously, Ricci's a lot younger. So, anyways, it was it's a competitive fight. Marcel, I'll get your thoughts in a sec. Judges scorecards. All 29-28, but the one score by Eric Colon doesn't really make sense to me. He gave Hill the first round, Ricci the third round. Doesn't make any sense. To me, it was Ricci clearly won the first, Hill clearly won the third, and it came down to the second round. I leaned Ricci in the second round. I was hoping Hill would win a robbery decision, but I thought Ricci clearly won. Not clearly won. I thought she edged it out, Marcel. I'll get your thoughts, Marcel, because you want to give your thoughts on this second. I guess it came down to the second round for you, right?
For sure, yeah, for sure. It was the second round. That was the swing round, in my opinion.
Why did you think she won the round?
I think she had more output, man. I think Ricci was more in how do you say that? She was more pressuring her, and that's why it looks like somebody is more like pressuring. That. But I felt like Angela landed better shots, man, if I look back at it, So when I watched it myself, I was like, 29-28 Ricci, I can see that. And then I rewatched it, I was like, I think Hill won the second round actually as well. So
that's fair. I'm just looking at the numbers, by the way, and Hill did outstrike Ricci in the second round, but she did get taken down twice, a couple minutes in control. I only watched it the one time. I thought Ricci won the first and second round. Alex, what did you think? You were cage side, right? Who do you think won?
I thought Angela won, but I wasn't really paying that close of attention, to be honest. Because I think Marion Santos was back there, so I was talking with him.
Right.
But yeah, so
no worries. Yeah, I mean, anyways, at the end of the day, I mean, Hill's been in a lot of these close fights in her career. She's had some go her way, she's had some go not her way. So you kind of live and die by the sword. You go to the judges. And Angela Hill, her last fight got that finish, and you're like, okay, maybe she's gonna finish the fight. But looking at Hill's record, Marcel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of her last 13 fights went the distance. When you are going the distance that often, you don't know what the judges are thinking. In her career, I mean, I think she has a losing record in the UFC, right? So
12 or 14, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good fighter, but I kind of feel like maybe she had that high point of her career in the last fight, maybe with the Pinheiro win, with the submission, and maybe at 39 now, could be going the other way, but I don't know. It was a close fight, so it's not like she's washed or anything like that. But
I can't believe Tabitha Ricci is going to be top 10 next week. Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I mean,
I love Tabitha. She's a really good friend of mine. She's from my hometown. I just don't believe she's like high count, like a top 15 or top 10 fighter.
she's 6-2 on the UFC.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She's I don't fucking
I think she's 6-1 in this weight class too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, she's tied with Lupi and Amanda Lemos for most wins in the division since 2021.
Every time you guys bring up Tabitha Ricci, I have to think about that clip Adam sent me that one time about.
Where she talks about how she likes dating guys with big dicks.
Yeah.
You've seen the clip, right, Alex? You seen it?
Yeah.
That's a joke. Well, I mean, she's dating, what's that guy's name? Callum Walsh. Well, there you go. So now we know what Callum's. Well, I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah. Because if you listen to that story, she was on Ashley Evans' podcast. Ashley Evans Smith, Sex and Violence. I think is that what it's called? Sex and Violence.
Something like that.
Adam does like he does. Adam acts like he doesn't know what he does.
No, I haven't. I actually never listened to the show. Just that clip because I think it's hilarious personally. But, hey, man, she's got things she's looking for in a guy, so it's okay. Let's go to the next fight here. We'll go to the tough finales. Ryan Loder gets the TKO win over Robert Valentine.
I was shocked he was an underdog, bro. I was literally fucking shocked, bro.
So Marcel bet on or picked him, and I was like on the fence, and I went with Valentine just because like Loder's kind of still green, but yeah, I mean, I knew the wrestling would be good and obviously just dominate. I'm looking at the stats: 42-1 in strikes, complete domination. First round was close. I don't mind giving it to Valentine, but I thought Loder did win it too. Like the judges all went with Loder, but some people went Valentine because of that submission attempt, which is fine. The second round was all Loder, and I think there's a lot to like about this guy too. I mean, obviously on the Ultimate Fighter, he had great story, but I mean, guy, Division I wrestler, extremely dominant wrestler, and when I was doing my research for the fight, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's training with Fluffy and all these guys like MMA Gold, and obviously he's working with Faber and all those guys too, and he came he fought in A1 if I'm not mistaken, right?
And UFL.
Yeah, so I mean, the guy's racked up some decent amount of experience in a short amount of time. And then I'm watching the weigh-ins, dude. The guy was fucking jacked at the weigh-ins. I'm like, holy shit, maybe this guy's gonna win. So, great pick by you guys. I like this guy, man. I think he's pretty good.
What the bookies were looking at to make him an underdog? Like, did they watch Tough and see Rick Valentine's finishing ability? Like, what made them decide that Loder was a dog to Robert Valentine?
Alex, this really made me think of, and it's not completely alike. I said it last week on the podcast with Adam. This made me think of Uriah Hall, Kelvin Gastelum. You know what I mean? It's like Uriah Hall had the great season with his crowded knockouts, and everybody was on him, just like Valentine now. Great comparison.
I picked Gastelum back then. He was plus 300 in that fight. It was one of my better bets. He was a huge underdog. And it's a good comparison. I mean, that was a much closer fight. It was a split decision, but obviously, actually, Kelvin ended up having the much better career too. I would say too. He's still in the UFC, and Uriah is out of the UFC and going after journalists on Twitter. Who was the last?
He blocked me on Instagram, man, years ago. I never interacted with him. So.
Yeah, he went after me once for an article I wrote about him too. So I mean, it actually comes to the territory with him. Next fight, tough finale. Myron Santos destroys Con Oakley. I mean, I would have given him a bonus because I think this was the most dirty knockouts of the year. Holy fuck, dude! And you were there. You were cage side for this one. That was nasty,
1000%. Yeah, it's a fucking shame he didn't get the 50K bonus. Like
he's having a kid. He's only 24 years old. Like he would have really could have used that money.
He needs that money, bro. And
I know.
And I know Michael.
He's a full-time job, dude.
And I know Michael Morales finished Neil Magny, but he was a fucking minus 850 favorite. It was expected.
You know what it is, Alex? I'm pretty sure the UFC is going to say, but those were technically Ultimate Fighter finales, and it's not technically that's what they're going to say. I remember when Ricky Turcios fought Brady Heastand in the finale as well, and they officially got the fight of the night, and then the UFC took that back. They also deleted the visual from the socials, and they were like,
really?
Yeah,
but Muhammad Usman got a bonus for knocking out Zach Palga.
Oh yeah, we're odd.
So and I think Marion Santos' knockout's better than that one. So
I agree. Fully
just,
agree.
yeah, it just makes no
They
sense.
did take that Durstill's Heastead fight. What the hell? I thought they did bring fight of the night.
Yeah, but they when how do you say that? I think it was said by David Shaw back then.
Oh,
in
I
the
think I
press
remember
run.
that. Yeah, they might
And
have given
also,
an extra bonus. Yeah,
yeah, but they did how the visual, what they always did. That was
Yeah, yeah.
the fight, and then they took it down, and there was
Yeah,
like no fight of the night. So, what do we? It's like we
understand.
don't want the poor get a little bit more money. You know what I mean? We only give the rich more money.
Yeah, but I watched Myron's post fight, and yeah, he said he did a job. I mean, he's like, hey, I'm not even at my full potential yet because I'm balancing having a job and training, and he's got a kid coming too, so he's got a lot to go. But yeah, I mean, dude, what a nice little prospect they signed here, right? Like, I tweeted last week on after watching the tough fights, I was like, yo, there's some good prospects. Because, I mean, let's be honest, most people don't watch tough anymore, right? I think Loader and Santos are good prospects.
I feel like if you knew the regional scene, anything, like, those two guys were going to win tough. Like, it was a given. Like,
fair enough. Yeah, I mean, both impressive. I think I'm okay with them giving Caio and Jared the fight tonight, obviously, but like, it would have been nice if they slipped these guys a check. Like, I don't know if they still do those locker room bonuses or whatever, but it'd be nice.
They do.
I'm sure they slipped them something. Michael Morales, you just mentioned, Alex, destroys Neil Magny. Neil was pushing against the fence, doing what he does, and then Michael, the spinning back elbow, drops him and then just fucking pounded him out. And actually, it's crazy because Neil's last fight with Mike Malott, it was a very similar finish, right? Like punches from mount and just fucking destroys him. Michael Morales, 25 years old, 5-0 in the UFC. I think he's got championship potential, guys. I really do. I actually do. I think this is another guy that welterweight division. I mean, you got all these fucking studs now. You got him. You got Shavkat. You got Jack Della Maddalena. You also got Ian Gary. And to be honest with you, I actually think these guys are better than Ian Gary. I think all three of those guys personally, because they actually finish fights. And I know Ian's got a few finishes, but not like these guys. I don't know. I mean, Michael and Ian both fought Neil, and Ian, I guess he was trying to punish him with those leg kicks, but Michael fucked him up. Neil Magny hasn't lost by knockout in 6 years. This is a big win for him. So, what did we do with him next? I think you were at his post fight, right? He calls out, or didn't call him out, but he mentioned Luque.
This was the most attended Apex card in the last, I think, all year, and it was all because of Michael Morales.
Bro, it was a 25-minute interview too. I was watching it. It was like, holy! I'm like, why is this interview so long? And it was all people from his country there, right?
11, yeah. Right? He's
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. 11 Latin journalists came and traveled for this fight.
He's a big deal there, man. Right? He's kind of like I mean, it's him and Cheeto, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, those are the only two guys.
But like, he's way better than Cheeto. Like, obviously.
Yeah, man. I had questions about. I was like, he's obviously undefeated. He's beat some tough guys in the UFC. Jake Matthews is like not an easy win. He basically dominated him. So I was like, I really need to see like more just to like kind of believe in him, because everybody I've talked to was like, yeah, this dude's like a future contender. He's just up there with everybody. I'm like, I just don't see it yet. And last night I saw it. I think you give him. He's going to be what? He's going to be number
13, I think.
No, Magny's 12. So okay, I mean, if the UFC was smart, they throw him against their Ian Gary, but I don't think they're going to do that. So I think they're going to do.
I was honestly thinking the same thing. He did mention Ian Gary. Right? He mentioned Luque.
He really wants that fight. I think you do like Jeff Neal next.
Doesn't Jeff's fighting?
Oh yeah,
Which I mean, I don't even understand. Like, I guess Dos Anjos he's ranked at lightweight, so right?
Yeah.
So I don't think Rafael should be fighting top 15 guys. I think you got to save those guys for these prospects. So
so the top of the division. I mean,
maybe Luque. I guess you could.
Yeah, you could do Luque. You could do.
And I'm not even.
What about the loser of Brady against Burns?
You could do that.
Yeah, for sure. You could definitely do that. I think Gilbert came out and said in an interview like he only has a few fights left and he just kind of wants big like money fights, which
Sure.
I understand. You just fucking give it to him. He's been a UFC soldier.
Yep.
I have a feeling Jack Della Maddalena is going to fight Usman or something like that. I kind of
Are you hearing Shavkat's getting the shot? Are you hearing that? Or
yeah, for sure. He's
okay,
going to get
awesome.
it. They were trying to make that fight for Utah.
Okay, that's a short turnaround for Bilal, right?
Yeah, and he was down for it.
He was down. Okay, nice.
Yeah, he was down for it.
I'm thinking they'll still do that fight in Vegas in December. I'm thinking. I mean,
it makes sense. Man, it's tough. I like that Brady versus Gilbert Burns loser. Maybe you do that. It's just crazy, bro. Like there's a lot of like Colby, Usman, Wonder Boy. The older fighters are gonna start going out, but like the unranked guys were not. Randy Brown.
I know. Renat is not ranked.
Carlos Prates, like Brian Battle, fucking, it's crazy. Bro.
I mean, we saw middleweight, welterweight's looking good too right now. A lot of prospects, right? Like,
yeah.
Anyways, I actually wouldn't mind the Ian Gary fight. Someone suggested Michael Page. I don't mind that either. I don't know. I'm just not as high on Ian Gary right now as maybe some other people. I think maybe some other people think his stock is down. I think it is.
I think he's just not. I think he's up there with like Jack Maddalena, like skill. He's not flashy. He's not a finisher, but he's fucking good, bro. Like
Fair enough. No, I mean his record shows that. Obviously,
yeah, 1000%. Like he's just not a finisher, but he's fucking good.
Yeah. Go to the next fight. Speaking of finishers, Gerald Meerschaert sets the record most finishes middleweight division. I picked him, Alex. I had him as an underdog. Tried to convince Marcel. I tried my best to convince you, Marcel, to come to the dark side and take Gerald Meerschaert GM3 plus 290 underdog, Alex. Crazy odds. Listen, Edmund's obviously dangerous in that first round, and it was the second round here where he hurt him. But once again, Edmund fucks up and completely gasses out, and Gerald gets the nasty sub. Gerald, man, he gets you to the ground. You're dangerous. You're done. He's so dangerous. And again, he says like, unless I'm unconscious, like I still have a chance to win. I'm going to try to win. So, I mean, I love GM3. I've always liked the guy. He's
A+ call out too.
He called out. Who was it?
Paul Craig.
Paul Craig.
Fucking plus.
I think he beats Paul Craig. I mean, it's a good fight though, right? Because Paul's also amazing on the ground. And I mean, Gerald's stand-up's not very good. Let's be honest, it's not good, but he's about as tough as it gets, dude. If you can't put him away, you're having a tough night with this guy. Again, I couldn't believe the odds when I saw him last week. I was like, what? Why is Edmund such a huge favorite? Like beating Dalcha and AJ Dobson. Now he's like
because he showed it, man. Like it showed in that first round. He was beating the fuck out of GM3, and then he dropped him, and then he went down on the ground and gassed himself out. I saw his Instagram post. He said that he gassed himself out.
I didn't see it. Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Edmund's an awesome dude, though. I mean, I know you're pretty close with him. Obviously, he trains at Extreme. So he didn't have Eric Nixon in his corner. Who's his?
It's Dewey Cooper, Jason Manley, and his brother.
Why?
He is very close to Jason Manley and just kind of connect with Dewey Cooper. And I love Jason. I hope he's not watching this, but like Edmund's not going to go any further with those guys in his corner. Like he needs, if he wants to like continue to develop and get better, he needs to switch coaches and get Eric Nixick. Like he has the training partners. He's still only fucking 27 years. Like we still haven't even seen his prime yet.
Right? I know,
like,
it's so crazy.
We still haven't seen his prime.
He's 26 still. He's turning 27 in a couple months. It's crazy.
It's insane.
He has 10 fights in the UFC, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, he
11 fights. Jesus.
He needs to get with Eric Nixick. I've heard a lot from training partners. Obviously, like training partners aren't gonna they're always gonna big up their teammates and stuff. But like a lot of them, like I talk to people that are like honest with me, and they said like Edmund's cardio was doing really good. Like he was looking very, very good this camp, but he gassed himself out. It sucks because he's the type of fighter when he sees blood, he goes for it, right? Yeah. So like he hurt Gerald Meerschaert and he went to go finish him, and he didn't do it, and he got caught. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Maybe in hindsight, he probably should have let Gerald back up.
I gotta be honest, and I'm sure Marcel, you felt the same way watching it. You're like, if he doesn't finish this fight, he's gonna gas again, right?
He had horrendous fight IQ by going down with him. Like
I think he had a really good amazing first round, and also early second where he knocked him
He
down.
looked good. He looked really good, dude.
And he got back up after the ground and pound. But Gerald saw he was gassed as fuck, and then Gerald took him down, and it was over. So.
Yeah.
You also said, Adam, in the Discord, like Edmund looks amazing today.
He did. I thought he looked amazing in the first round. His sprawl looked on point. His striking looked as best as it's ever been. But again, it was kind of, and you told me the same thing. You're like, yeah, I knew if he didn't finish him in the first round, probably he's going to lose. Like you said the same thing.
Yeah, I said like if he doesn't finish him first round or early second, he's probably going to lose either a decision or a submission late. Yeah,
and it's just like I feel like GM. It's like hard to say this, but like losing to GM3 like that, like. Yeah, GM3 is dangerous, but it's kind of like a bad loss on Edmonds. On it's like where he is kind of a thing. Like I feel like this is kind of like I feel like kind of like a toss up the UFC. Like, all right, we fucked up giving you Fluffy. Here's AJ Thompson. Here's another GM3. It's just tough.
GM3 got Anderson Silva's record, right? Most
finishes. 12 stoppages now in the UFC.
1,000%.
Pretty wild, eh? All of his wins are by stoppage. He doesn't win decisions. So, yeah. All right, let's go to the prelims here, guys. Francis Marshall defeats Dennis Buzukja, split decision. Pretty close fight. I think the judges got this one right, too, although one of the scorecards was or maybe two of the scorecards were weird, right, Marcel? Like,
yeah, I think Adelaide Bird forgot that that Buzukja got knocked down in the second round brutally in the beginning by Francis Marshall. I think
two of the judges had Buzukja, Adelaide Bird and Junihicho Kamijo.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I don't get that at all. And the thing is, like the third round too, like two of them went with Marshall. Like I thought that was Buzukja's round. The scorecards are weird for this fight. I do think that Marshall won the first two rounds, though, right?
I had 29-28 for Marshall. I think he won the first two rounds. The thing is, like, most of these judges only remember the last minute of the round, apparently, And I think Buzukja did very well in this last minute of the second round. But in my opinion, that if you get knocked down, it doesn't mean automatically that you lose the round, But you have to do a lot to get even. You know what I mean?
I don't hate them giving him the second round. I just don't like the third round for Marshall. I mean, I think that was Buzukja's best, clearest round.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, Alex, I was going to ask you, like, you're there, right? Do you ever get to talk to the judges? Like, are they ever made available to you guys? No?
Funny enough, after every single fight, they go huddle up to my right, and they talk about the fights, right? They talk about the fights. They give their scorecards. They kind of dissect the fight. The commission, like Jeff Mullen, I've never attempted, but I've seen people go try and talk to him, and Jeff kind of like doesn't really let journalists go talk to the judges.
I kind of feel like they should make these judges available to the journalists.
These guys have way too much power. Way too much power.
And they're not that great at their jobs. I mean, like, there's no repercussions. Like, I was talking about this last week. Jaron Villel had that 30-27 Nikolai Verekenikov, and then he's flying to Washington, D.C. to do PFL next week and give you a bad scorecard there. There's no repercussions in the sport. And to be honest, like, and we're good friend of the podcast, Johnny from On the Line, UFC On the Line, Johnny, the Greek, he was talking about this a little while ago. I remember he was saying, these guys have a great job, man. They get to fly all over the world, fucking sitting cage side. They have the best seats, watching fights, and they have power. And no one's going to fucking fire them from their job unless you're Howie Booth and you go 30-27 Tai Tuivasa. Like, if it's that egregious. Otherwise, like, look at Dave Torelli, 49-46 Costa. He's still judging big fights right now. There's no it's actually a great job. And to be honest, looking back at it, 15 years ago when I started this journey, I almost wish I fucking did judging instead. I'd be fucking sitting cage side, fucking making decent money. It's not the best money, like, but it's not bad. And you can have another job, obviously, because it's only one night a week, usually 2 nights a week. And you get the best seat in the house. And fuck, man, I'm still not convinced. And I'm not saying, it was these judges last night, but I'm not convinced that these judges don't have friends that are like, hey, man, like, I'm making a bet in this guy. Can you make sure the score?
I am 1,000% convinced they're betting on fights.
Dude, I mean,
1,000%. You cannot
lost the fight. Yeah, I know, right?
You can't convince me that they're not. Like, I have a black cloud over there. Like, there's no the Damon Jackson Alex Hernandez fight. That's the one that was like there's no fucking way someone
Davey
gave
won a
that fight
split,
to Alex
right? If I'm not
Hernandez.
mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's no way you
Davey
gave
won
that
the
fight.
fight, right? Yeah.
It was 37 Alexander Hernandez. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's just I don't know if I think what they're doing is they're telling their friends to bet on split decision. Like that's
I'm
the thing.
feeling the same. I've been feeling the same way for a while. To be honest with you, it's just this is that the quiet part no one wants to talk about, right? No one wants to bring this up. But there's too many weird split decisions, dude. Where you're just wondering, like, what the fuck is going on here?
And it's not that hard to fucking like do, right? Like, yeah, like maybe one judge is like, you know, feeling the same way, but like just go against whoever's winning the fight, and it's a split decision every single time.
Also, Alex, you can also in almost pretty much every round you can make an argument for a certain technique, you know, from a fighter that is like, oh yeah, this might be to him, you know. Only the Rosa strike to Ivasa one that was a little bit difficult, you know, but overall you can always say like, yeah, I think this fighter did a little bit more, you know, and then you can still justify it, you know.
Yes, 1000%. They are. I'm convinced they are. And I do truly believe that like if they were available to us to talk about the decision, I think judging might get better because they get grilled on it.
Yeah, because I feel like it's getting worse, honestly, and I don't think it's getting better.
The UFC's been around for 31 fucking years, and the judging is not getting better. How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, and you know, people are gonna say, "Oh, bring the ex fighters in," but as Marcel keeps saying, they're friends with the fighters. They're gonna
remember Ricardo Almeida, you know, and I'm not going to say anything bad about Ricardo Almeida, but in my opinion, he's connected to a Frankie Edgar, for example, you know, and Frankie Edgar's connected to this and this and that. So you always have those connections, and even these judges we have now, you know, they have sometimes connections with fighters or with fighter camps, you know, so it's like it's so difficult.
Yeah, funny enough, I actually talked with Chris Levin when I was in Salt Lake City for the PFL, and I straight up asked him, I said, bro, like, how you like judging? Like, you know, he's like, I don't like it. I like reffing way more, but I don't have as much opportunities reffing than I do judging, so that's what I do more. And that. So I straight up asked him. I said, you know, like, you know, we all know you were a striker. Do you kind of like look at strikers and fights and kind of judge that way? He's like, no. He's like, I can't do that. He said, when I very first started, I was a little bit more biased that way, but over the years, I couldn't, and I learned. I put in a lot of work. Yeah. So like, even talking about that, like, ex fighters aren't going to make good judges. They aren't, because they're going to be. Bro, if Daniel Cormier became a fucking judge, there's no fucking way he wouldn't be biased towards wrestling. There's no way. You know?
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I don't know what the solution is. I just think you need better education. You need better judges. I mean, but again,
you need to pay them more. You need to pay them more.
I think the pay is I don't think it's terrible, but it could be way better, and it should be better, because I think, you know, for these big title fights especially, these guys should be at like $10,000, not like $1,000. You know, they should be getting a lot of money, because I think they would care more. Because right now it's like, whatever.
If there was better pay, more people would do it. That's
I agree with that too. I mean, I think you're making good points. I'm glad we have this discussion here. Go ahead.
It's also not something like, if you're a judge, you have to have like a background for 5 or 10 years in martial arts or something.
No.
I thought that was before, right?
No, I mean,
no, wasn't like, no. Okay, I thought it was.
No, I don't think you do. I don't like Ben Cartilage was a guy that was. I think he was a journalist, wasn't he? And he became a judge. I'm not mistaken.
But he was probably training in BJJ or whatever. You know, for you. I think you have to have a certain background. You can't be a fat fuck like me and go into judging.
Funny enough, bro, Jaron Villel teaches judging.
That's crazy.
He's one of the certified judges that teaches judging.
It's crazy.
Jaron Villel.
You can keep him in Canada, Adam. You can keep him.
You don't claim him. Send him back to Washington, D.C. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Zach Reese destroys Jose Daniel Medina. This guy shouldn't be in the UFC. I mean, he's got one of the best chins in the UFC, but like, when that's your best quality, it's just not good, man. Alex, you were there. Like, I mean, any thoughts?
I put money on Jose Medina because I figured if Zach Reese could knock him out in the first round, he'd come back. But nope. Yeah, it's a fucking shame that guy's in the UFC. You know,
they passed on Torres Finney and they signed this guy instead, eh?
And you know, Torres my guy. Dana's not wrong where Torres would probably get fucked up in the UFC, but like there's no doubt in my mind Torres would beat up.
I was gonna say,
Medina.
who do you think wins Torres Finney or Jose Daniel Medina?
Jose Medina beats him every time.
You think Jose beats Torres Finney?
No, Torres Finney beats Jose Medina. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
shit. I was like,
yeah,
what?
No. Yeah, no, 1000%.
Here's the thing: like this guy is tough, but like, what skill does he have?
Dude, he got signed off the Contender Series for getting demolished and then doing the fucking Nick Diaz. Like, what's up, bro? What's up?
30-27. Yeah.
What's up? He got signed for doing a Nick Diaz impersonation. Like, that's signed in the best fight promotion on the fucking planet Earth.
You know, I will say this: like, it's good that Zach Reese actually went 3 rounds.
Yes.
You know, for once, because he needs that experience. I think he's a decent fighter. I know a lot of people shit on his performance because he didn't finish with the guy, but I think this guy is just one of these guys, like a Cheeto Vera that's almost impossible to finish.
Dude, those kicks that he was landing and those shots,
so
he would have knocked out 95% of the middleweights in that fight.
I think so too.
Okay, guys.
Fucking brutal.
I have a good question. Who would you pick? Jose Medina or Alan Amadovsky?
Jose Medina probably. Alan Amdowski was. I still don't understand why Joe Pyfer got $50K for knocking that guy out. Like I don't.
I love that Alex is still thinking.
I just don't know what this guy's good at.
I mean,
I haven't seen much.
See the odds on that.
Apparently he's going to drop to 170. He is training at Entran Gym, so there's something to like about this guy, but I kind of feel like he's going to be the one of these guys that goes 0-3 and gets released. That's what I
think they're going to give him one more fight at welterweight, and then that's it. Because this dude's a fucking.
I got a question. I got a good one. Who wins, Jose Daniel Medina or Tony Ferguson?
Tony Ferguson.
I don't know.
I say Tony Ferguson.
What do you think, Alex?
I'm picking Jose Medina.
I know. There's a fight you can win. We got one. All right, you guys were saying Nick Diaz. I mean, why doesn't he just fight Nick? Fuck. I'm not convinced Nick Diaz that even fights again. Like if I'm Luke, I move on from that fight right now. I don't think you should wait 2 years like Chandler's reign for Conor. It's never gonna happen. Go ahead.
You know what's funny to me, man? Every time like Reese and Medina, Reese just wanted to fight, and Medina wanted to hug and to do a high five and shake hands. And you saw on Reese's face, he was like, "Dude, fuck off." You know, I'm being nice. I'm being nice to you, but fuck off. I want to fight. You know?
Yeah, I know. I saw the same thing. Yeah. I mean, it was one-sided fight. All right, next fight here. I mean, to me, honestly, this could have been fight of the night too, except the main event was even better. But Slava Claus beat Hamed Yontop by split decision. Dude, you were sitting cage for this one? You were there?
Yeah.
Dude, fucking brutal fight, right?
Yeah, 1000%. One more thing on Jose Medina.
Sure.
Carlos Legaspi showed me that he did interviews with both Michael and Medina. Even Medina's loss last night, he got double the views on Jose Medina.
I mean, he's popular. Obviously, that's another reason they signed him. Like they need guys from I think he's Colombia. Bolivia. Sorry, Bolivia. Excuse me.
Yeah, 1000%.
Slava Claus though, like
man,
close fight, but I thought he won.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, that was a. I mean, it's tough. The main event was a slobber knocker too.
But this was like a Muay Thai fight with like 4-ounce gloves, right?
This was a close fight of the night, man. Like, if they were going to give two, like this would have been it.
I think
Can we talk about how much of a shitbag Chris Toyoni is?
What happened? Was it a finger eye poke? What was it?
Yeah, man, he wasn't paying attention again, you know. And I think Vyacheslav.
Oh yeah. He didn't step in quickly, right?
Yeah.
And Hamed on top, almost like he could have finished him potentially.
Always the same shit with the dude, man. Have you ever talked to him, Alex?
Tyone always sits to my right sometimes. Like he'll just come back and watch the fights. But no, I don't want to talk to that
Can
guy.
you talk to him?
I can't stand to do it, man.
Can you talk to him or no?
Yeah, because I've seen some people like interview Herb Dean on podcasts and stuff. Yeah, I think refs are a lot more open. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are the judges? Why do they get so much power and secrecy?
I think it's just because they would get crucified, right? And the commissioners just don't want that.
You probably be like, hey, why did you score for this guy? And they wouldn't have an explanation. That's probably what would happen.
For sure. Like
they'd probably be like, oh, octagon control. It'd be like, that's the fourth criteria.
Yeah. The commission is definitely protecting the judges.
I still think, honestly, Alex, man, if they come out and they actually do interviews, people might give them more credit than they do now. Now it's like they're only like people talking shit like myself on Twitter, so about the judging. So,
That's the thing is like I don't know. I don't even know if like I would crucify that. I just want to know, like just Eric Nick said, I want to know what you were looking at. Like that's
Exactly.
it. Like even if they don't even allow us to ask questions, just have them go up to the podium and be like, these are the 5 fights I judged. This is why I did it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I really want.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, I even talked about like in MLB, I think in NFL, like they have like a pool reporter, like one of the reporters will talk, not all of them, just like
send
one.
John Morgan, send Kevin Iole, send one of the motherfuckers in there.
It could be just you. It could be even fucking Amy. Send Amy.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if I talk to them. I just want to know what they're looking at.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even just send one reporter to be like, okay, we have why did you score for this? Why did you score this round?
Yes.
For this guy? By the way, the Jared Valel thing, I was going to ask you about, like, was he removed or he's got a stern talking to? Like, what happened last week or 2 weeks ago? I should say.
I mean, he didn't judge another fight, so.
So he did get removed, but they didn't talk about it. Okay,
yeah. And then he was there the following week, but I think he was just shadowing.
Contender series the next week.
Oh, he did. I believe he was just shadowing the judges.
They told him to take the night off, but again. Hey, taking the night off with pay is not bad. It's not like they're going to fight. Like he doesn't not get docked his pay. He still gets paid.
1,000%. Yeah, no, for sure. I did want to say, like, now with the Slava clause, like it kind of like he looked really good and he's a fun fighter. So it makes me question, like, what was going on with that Chase Hooper fight, right? Like, is it
what happened there, man?
What was it a bad night on Slava? Is Chase Hooper just really that good at lightweight? Like, I don't fucking know.
I think Chase is leveled up. Marcel, you picked Chase in that fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think he's leveled up, right? He's won 3 straight fights. He's won 4 or 5. I think he might be leveled up, like potentially.
Adam, check the private chat if you want.
Sure, I'll check it right now.
But just like, but
Fucking
just
guy.
like Chase Hooper outstriking Slavoclaw, like it's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is crazy. I know. And also, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like an early knockdown, right? And like, it is 4-ounce gloves. Like, you can catch someone, and that kind of changes the whole fight after that.
Yeah,
right?
1,000%. Maybe Chase just rocked him really good, and he just couldn't recover.
Would you give this Hamas Yontop guy another fight? He's 0-2.
Yeah, one more.
I mean, he's with Iridium, so
he's excited. Oh, he is Iridium? Oh, he's getting another fight.
He'll
get 2 more.
Alex, question.
Yes.
Who are these chicks on your background? It looks like Charlie's Angels. Was it Japanese? What is it?
It's a poster from the weekend. His second album, Kissland.
The weekend's from my hometown, Scarborough.
Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, he fucking went to school 10 minutes from where I grew up. It's crazy.
He's the fucking man, bro.
It's actually crazy. It's been a while, but he posted a picture once of like him at the fucking public library, which is like literally down the street from where I grew up. And I was like, wait a second, he was with the Albert Campbell? What the hell? I don't know if anyone's listening. I know some of my boys do listen to this podcast. He was like Albert Campbell. You guys saw the picture. It's crazy.
From the 6, bro. He's from the 6.
Sure is, man. Let's go to the next fight here. Jacqueline Cavalcante defeats Josiane Nunes, split decision. It was a close fight. I mean, I honestly think it could have gone either way. Josiane was pushing forward more. Jacqueline did land more strikes. I think it could have gone either way. What do you think, Alex? You were there. Any thoughts quickly? You don't care about this fight at all.
I was talking. I think I was talking to Kevin Iole during this fight. Yeah,
he was there. Kevin was there.
Yeah. I don't care. The only question I really want to know, like, if Josie Nunes could like cut the strawweight. Like,
I mean, why is she's way too short for these weight? Like, she fought at 145.
I mean, look at bro. Like Torres Finney, it's going to be very hard for him to get down to even welterweight. Josie's not that thick. Like, she's not a. I don't know if it's laziness, if it's like what it is, but at bantamweight, she's gonna lose to bigger girls.
If she and Kylian Mbappe had a kid, would be a legit Ninja Turtle, by the way. But I mean, I think Ron McCarty scored a 30-27.
That's crazy.
Nunes, that was crazy.
Again, I mean, I just don't get it. Like, and his dad is John McCarthy. I know people do criticize John, but John wrote the rules. Like, I think John's a pretty good judge, and I don't understand how his son is so questionable.
Check Color Stream reaction.
What?
For the second last reaction we have, the comment check. Is it just me?
That's funny. No, that's a very good comparison.
Yeah, she actually, yeah.
No,
I think she's decent. She's going to take her spot in the top 15. I mean, this top 15 for women's bantamweight is just absolutely terrible. Like this division is a tire fight.
Dog shit.
It's bad. It's really bad.
I did want to ask, like, the only things I kind of saw in the fight was like Joe CM like actually landing on Jacqueline.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I scored it for Nunes 1 and 3,
Really?
but I didn't give her all 3. I scored it for her, but I know a lot of people didn't. I think most people, but I bet on Cavalcante, so I was like, oh fuck, this is one of those fights where I actually thought that the girl, like I thought, won.
So was it like a power versus volume kind of a fight?
That's what I thought. But I know Marcel had Cavalcante winning all 3 rounds, right? Yeah, which I think most people had her winning. Clearly,
again, winning 2 rounds.
Oh, 2 rounds. Sorry, the second round you had for Nunes.
Why was it?
She did land more strikes, Alex. It was 91 to 52. But again, I thought it was a power versus volume argument. But yeah, let's just get to the next fight here. Yeah. Kicking off the card. I think it's pronounced Wong Tong, if I'm honest, right? When I heard Brendan pronouncing it at the weigh-ins, I was like, wait a second, is he what the heck is this right? And then I go and listen. Like, they have the media guide, obviously, as you know about. That's what she said. So it's like Wong Tong, dude. Well, apparently she got a bonus too. By the way, she did. She got 50K. She got a 50.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she deserved it. This is the second fastest finish in the division. I would imagine they're going to fast track this girl up the ladder, right? Like, I'd imagine that.
I think, depending on, I think we could have a Alex Pereira versus Izzy type of thing with her and Valentina.
Yeah.
Not only because of the storyline, but she has a great personality.
Yep.
She has the credentials.
Yep.
She has the whole package. 1,000%.
Dude, would you like? Do you like the weigh-in? The Joker?
It's great. Yeah, it's
sick,
great,
right?
1,000%. Yeah, she's great. And then she was talking shit, like, and then she wins and she's like, "Why the fuck am I in the prelims?" All right, bro. Like, all right. Yeah, I think they turned her right around, put her on the Macau card.
Oh yeah, she's fighting on that card. Who's she gonna fight?
100% main card.
Marcel, who's she gonna fight? Let's find a fight for her. What do you think?
She will. I think she will 100% be on the main card. Flyweight,
she should probably open the main card, I would imagine.
Yeah, flyweight. Probably somebody in the top 15 already.
I think so too, right? Like, she called it Casey O'Neill, didn't she? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Casey's going to take that fight.
I think Tracy Cortez. I don't think she'll take it either, but that would be a good fight.
Miranda Maverick.
Yeah, that could be a good fight too. But I think again, it's dangerous because it's a really strong wrestler.
Is Vivian Araujo booked?
Yeah, she just got booked.
Yeah.
Jasmine's booked for Canada, right?
Yeah, maybe it won't be a top 15. You know what? She probably. By the way, I looked at Pereira's record because people were making this comparison. So he fought Andreas Michaelides, and then he fought Bruno Silva, who was in top 15. So she'll probably get one more out of the top, like a showcase fight in Macau.
Bro, what about Caitlin Sarmonara?
That's a tough
she
fight.
went? Oh, she's 7-7.
I know.
Who would you guys favor? Who would you favor?
I know what they do. They do either Veronica Hardy or they do.
I was thinking that too.
Maybe Dreadhead, maybe Marina Moroz.
No, she got cut. Marina, she got cut.
Montana De La Rosa.
She won her last fight. She beat Andrew Lee. They could do that fight. And to be honest with you,
Montana accepts every fight.
What did you say?
Montana accepts every fight, so it makes sense.
You know what? I could actually see that fight. I actually think that's going to happen.
I know who they're going to give her.
Tell us.
Juliana
Miller.
Juliana Miller or Starley Renko.
These are.
I should go with Miller.
Yeah. Oh, God, poor girl. She's going to get destroyed. Wong Tong.
Is Priscilla Catarreta still on the roster?
Yeah, I think she is. That would be
that's what.
What about the Teresa Bleda, Marcel? How about that fight? That girl.
I mean, she's
not going to lie. I think that's a difficult fight, dude. I'm much higher on Bleda than a lot of people are. I think Casey O'Neill would have struggled with Bleda.
I'm looking at the roster. Like, she's 1-0. I mean, like, I don't.
Maybe Ivana Petrovic.
She's booked against Jamie Lenorth.
I actually think this Montana De La Rosa fight makes a lot of sense, personally. Like, Montana, has she even been knocked out before? I don't think she has. She's knocked out once.
Montana's a typical girl who wins pretty much against everybody under her, and she's just not top 15.
There's our fight. We found our fight, guys.
Yeah, I think that's it, or Veronica Hardy. I think that might be it.
I agree. Okay. Out of 10, what would you give the card? I honestly love this card, and especially after talking about it, I would go 9 personally. Because I didn't have any expectation. 7? Okay, fair enough. What do you mean, Marcel? What do you think? 8?
I was going 8.5, but now I see Alex Beard, so I go with a 9.
Ooh, okay, there we go.
9 out of 10, bro? Damn. Okay.
I really like the card.
No, I give an extra point to the card when I saw your beard. It makes me happy.
Alex, I had no expectations in this card. I was like, yeah, is it going to be as bad as Spivak versus Cabrera 2? Hopefully not, but it turned out to be way better.
I feel like 9 out of 10 is fucking super high for a card, bro.
It could be. Maybe 8.5 is more reasonable, but I really like this card, man. I enjoyed it. Let's just quickly go to Dana White Contender Series, Alex, because obviously you were there for this one too.
Yep.
You were there. You go to every.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through the card. By the way, so Dana was obviously fucking pissed. Are you allowed? Like, do you have any thoughts about like why he was so angry? I think it was the Marab thing with the posting the cut. That's
yes, and then I think I said in the Discord of why.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that, but yeah, that's what I kind of thought. Let's go through the contracts here. Andreas Gustafsson knocks out Canada's own Pat Pitlick, gets the contract. Where Sven Kuniev knocks out Kugo Kuna, gets the contract. Cortavius Romeus defeats Canada's Michael Imperato, gets wins the decision, gets a contract questionable, I think. Torres Finney beats Cam Roasting, gets destroyed and brutalized by Dana White in the post-fight, and then Cody Haddon, I think, had the best performance on the card clearly, and I guess the win.
I would have just given out one contract to Cody Haddon. Yep.
Guys, 2 weeks in a row, probably the best finish was the first fight.
Yeah. I think Cody, I would imagine he gets turned around for that Sydney card, right? Like I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean they could do China because it's not horrible travel.
Close, for sure. You weren't impressed by this card, eh? You didn't like it as much, maybe as the.
I mean, Torres is my boy. I just don't think he does good in the UFC. I think Dana's right, man. Like, it sucks because like he's such a good person, and like,
can he make 170? Can he cut some muscle?
He's gonna have to, bro. Like.
Yeah, you can't fight at 185. He's just too short, dude. For this
I think Cortavius. I don't like, dude. Dana was like, dude. He said like he's such a great athlete. He has the potential to be great. Like, I don't see it. Rivzon got popped for fucking roids. Like, and he beat Hugo, who's not that good. And then, I mean, Andreas. Like, yeah, he's 33 and. He lost to Jolton Lowerbach, right?
Yeah.
Who got popped for steroids. Like, I just wasn't impressed with anybody but Cody Haddon,
Isn't there a rumor they're going to go to Sweden or something? Is that a potential rumor?
I think they're only going to Europe once next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Just England probably again.
What? That's too bad they kind of stopped going there as a margin.
Which is weird, bro. Like, dude.
Cards in Belgium and Netherlands and stuff.
Go to fucking Poland. You have so many Polish fighters on the roster right now.
Germany.
Like
They used to do cards all the time before COVID.
Germany, it's so weird. Like, Poland and Germany should be automatics every single year.
This comment from Zach's so funny, saying this last Dana White Contender Series card, the Godfather 3 of Dana White Contender Series. Yeah, we'll forget about it, Zach, for sure. Anything, Marcel, you're going to say quickly?
Yeah, man, I actually agree with Alex, man. I also said that it was pretty not a great card, man, last Tuesday, and I think Haddon had the best performance as well.
I agree.
Cortavius Romeus, listen, man, I saw I think I mentioned it to you last week. I saw an interview with him and James Lynch before his last fight, and when he lost to Ramon Tavares, before that fight, he got let go from his job. They told him he shouldn't have to come back for some weird ass reason. So I'm happy for him. He got signed, but I wasn't really impressed. If you look at Kuniev, what Alex said, he got popped for roids, man. I mean, I think Alex asked that to Dana, right? You asked that to Dana, and Dana was like, "No, we don't care," or something. Really weird answer. And then the Gustafsson, I wasn't as impressed with the Gustafsson win as everybody else was on socials. I was like, it was really like dragging on, and then finally he finished him. It wasn't great. I think Cody Haddon was the best guy on the night. So yeah.
I completely agree with everything you guys just said. By the way,
I mean, I have empathy for Cortavius, man. Like,
he doesn't have a bed like this week.
He doesn't have a bed. He like everyone fucking stopped talking to him when he lost in Contender Series. Like he only has like 3 friends. Like I have empathy for him, but like you beat a fucking 15-28 dude to get back on the Contender Series. Like,
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Alex. I mean,
you know, it's
I
Iridium.
wouldn't have signed him either, but
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, like dude, the guy doesn't have a bed to sleep on. I mean, like, who am I to be like, yeah, you don't deserve
100%.
10,000 to get beat up in the UFC, like.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like
I just don't
I have
think
empathy.
Yeah, same, but I just don't think he deserved it. All right, really quickly, let's shift gears. PFL. Did you watch Alex or no? Skip this card.
I watched I think I watched one thing, but this division, like the welterweights and featherweights, was my least. I don't care about it at all.
So 9 fights, 7 decisions on the card. I think of the 3 semifinal cards, of the weakest one, right, Marcel? Of the 3,
I agree.
Right. Let's just really quickly go through this. We had Brendan Lofton win a split over Kai Kamaka. That's your guy, Alex. Close fight, but he gets the win. Magomed Umalatov defeats Neiman Gracie. He was like minus 3,500 favorite. Timur Khizriev has a close fight over Gabriel Braga, wins a split. Shamil Musayev defeats Murad Ramazanov in a rematch. He moves on to the finals. He fights Khizriev, and then, it's Musayev versus Umalatov, and then Khizriev versus Lofton. Who do you guys favor in those fights? I would probably favor.
What a boring finale, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
I would
shit.
favor. Well, Umalatov's 17-0 and Musayev 19-0, so that's kind of interesting. And then Khizriev 17-0. I guess I would favor Umalatov and Khizriev to win. What do you think, Marcel? Those 2 fights. Any thoughts?
It was Lachlan against who?
Khizriev.
Khizriev. I think Khizriev wins. And who's the other?
Umalatov versus Shamil Musayev.
Musayev, 100%.
You like him there? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay. And then also you had Muhammad Berkmarov wins the split decision over Ray Cooper. I mean, that's a bad look when he was split over Ray Cooper, who, I mean, you talk about fall from grace. Ray Cooper was $1 million winner a few years ago. Now his career's probably going to be
Lost 4 of his last 5. Only beat Brett Cooper.
Not good. Enrique Barzola this was actually a nice win over him, over Tyler Diamond, a guy 2-4. Well, Barzola was Bellator. Did he fight in the UFC? I can't remember. He fought in the UFC too, right?
Won against Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah. No, Barzola. Didn't he fight in the UFC?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
he won the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. So Latin America, right? So Tyler Diamond fought.
He went 6-3-1 in the UFC.
Yeah, he's one of those weird cuts. Like Eric Perez also got cut back in the day, and it's like kind of weird. Yeah, they were pushing the Mexican Latin market, and then they cut all these guys after. It was weird.
He lost to Evliov and then went to a draw with Ryan Yaya and then got cut.
Yeah.
So strange.
That's guy. His Jose's dad.
Adam, your sound is pretty.
You're like lagging.
Really good performance over Jesse Stern. Oh, am I? Sorry, guys. My bad.
You're lagging like a motherfucker.
I know. I gotta close this. I gotta close the Jessica.
Stop opening those fucking porn tabs when we are on the podcast.
Is it better now? Is it better?
Yeah.
You're finally close to 10 porn tabs.
And then you had 2 missed matches in the first 2 fights. These guys from PFL Africa get finishes. I mean, hopefully they can discover some prospects from PFL Africa, I guess. But what do you think about them expanding out to PFL Africa, PFL Saudi Arabia?
I made this point to somebody there. Like, in theory, it's a good idea to expand and get more fighters. But like, if your main thing, the global division, fucking sucks, you have a problem. It's not, and I've said this to the head of PR, to executives, like, you have the best roster you've ever had in the history of PFL, but it's the worst product you've ever had. Like,
I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all. Like, I watched the cards and I'm disappointed by them.
And it's like, bro, like, I really enjoy the PFL and I want them to do. They need to do good. Like, the UFC is
for the good of the sport.
Yes, 1,000%.
Like,
without a reliable number 2, fucking.
Completely agree. When the UFC was, and we actually was I talking about this with you, Marcel? We were talking about last week, right? I was saying, like, when they had Pride, when they had Strikeforce, that's when the UFC was the best. Like, we were saying, like, dude, early, like 2010 to 2013, that kind of age range, that's when you had Strikeforce at its best, and the UFC was like, fuck, we have to buy these guys out because these guys are putting on good cards. They were putting on amazing cards with great fighters, and the UFC had to, step up their shows. Now you're seeing, I mean, I'm hoping that the UFC is going to put on some better fights and the matchmaking is going to improve. That's all I could say. But right now, it kind of feels like some of these ESPN cards. And last night was a great card, but on paper wasn't. And I feel like a lot of these cards are like throwaway cards, almost like trying to like milk this deal out to the end, right?
If people say the PFL is the number 2 promotion behind the
problem.
UFC, they are. It's not even comparable of how far they are. So fucking far behind. It's not.
Like, I'm almost wondering, like, was this purchase of Bellator better for the sport? Probably not, right?
No, it wasn't.
No, I don't think so either. Because Bellator's a complete afterthought now. Like, they do 8 shows a year now. They don't even do 1 a month. There's a Bellator card next month in San Diego. You going? You gonna go to that one?
I was thinking about it. I don't.
Yeah, listen. I don't want to shit on Bellator, but what does it even mean now to be Bellator champion? You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't even really think, like, who are the chances that guy that got cut by the UFC? What's his name? The welterweight dude. He beat Jason Jackson. What's the guy? Jordan Williams. What's the guy's name? You don't even know his name. I can't even fucking think of his name. What's the guy's name?
Yeah,
he beat Jordan Williams on Contender Series. And
the Ramazan Kuramagomedov.
There you go. You got his name. But like, it took us like a minute to like think of this guy, and then you have. Yeah, I mean it's bad.
I think Ryzen is the best promotion outside of the UFC.
Yeah, how about one? I don't even watch one. I don't watch them.
One championship's not even an MMA promotion anymore.
It's Muay Thai, right?
It's a combat sports organization.
Yeah, fair enough.
When you have Cade Rutolo versus Mikey Mushimeshi as the co-main event for your second American show, there's a problem.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Man, good discussion here today, guys. We're 1:15. I don't want to take any more time, Alex. I got to go soon too. I'm actually, Alex, I'm on vacation for the next week, so I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, nice, bro.
Going to Newfoundland, which is the most eastern point of Canada. So I'm looking forward to that. Going away for a week, so I'll be off the grid. Man, I've been pretty busy at work, so I need a break. Plus, we have a week off.
I'm going on a cruise the week after.
Where?
Noche to the Mediterranean, the Caribbean.
Nice. There you go. Are you going to Noche UFC, by the way? You're going to be there?
Yeah, of course.
So how are they going to do that? Are they having a media section in beside the cage, or is it going to be up top? Do you know?
No, they're going to. There's going to be a tent outside of it, and they're going to rotate media members in to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of works out. I'll be honest about the Noche card. I'm obviously excited for it. I kind of feel like with Dana saying this is going to be the greatest event of all time, I kind of feel like it's got such lofty expectations, and I'm not sure if it's going to live up to them.
I think people expected a UFC 300 type card.
That's kind of what I thought, to be honest.
And he wasn't talking about that. He's talking about the experience inside of the sphere.
Yeah.
And
I just wonder how it's going to translate on TV for like I'm going to be watching it at home.
I think it's going to be fucking incredible. I think they're going to knock it out of the park.
I hope so, bro.
And the card itself has bangers up and down the card, bro. Like, dude, Zahuba versus Rivovic and Nacho versus fucking Loco, bro. Holy fuck.
There's some good fights. I still would have did 12 fights. I know they want to do 10 for time constraints.
The bout order is kind of odd.
The bout order is
weird to me. I think the worst fight on the card is Norma versus Irene Aldana. That's
the main event of the prelims, right?
I do think that Lazy Boy O'Day being on the main card is very weird, but apparently from what I'm hearing, like the UFC is very, very high on
Lazy Boy. They like him,
yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't think O'Day deserves it. Kind of.
Then I wonder why it takes so long to sign him. You know what I mean?
Makes no sense at all.
By the way, I have a really important question for Alex. To Alex, why aren't you not in Amy's TikTok videos?
Because I declined to be in those videos.
I support you 100%.
I can never look at that song, Just Lose It anymore.
Alex doesn't want to laugh, but you want to laugh, dude.
It's just not my thing,
Fair enough. Yo, dude, we love you and we appreciate you.
Of course, brother. Of course.
Thanks so much, man. You always bring so much insight to the podcast that you're on the ground floor in Las Vegas. You see and hear things that we don't see. So we truly appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Well, I was bummed because you guys were doing it early Sundays, and I was like, I'm not waking up there early, to be honest.
No, I fully understand. You're 3 hours behind us, right? But We've been kind of doing like Sunday nights a little bit more. my schedule's a little different now. I got my daughter at different times during the week, so it's worked out a little better. And I was just thinking like today, I'm like, Alex was there. I really like this card. Let's get him on the show. So like I said, we appreciate you, man. Marcel, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, but it's also kind of difficult for Adam sometimes because he always forgets to close the porn tabs.
I know, dude.
So
Marcel's sending all these like nude pictures, all these fighters like to me. He's like, hey man, check out this picture of like who was it, Juliana Miller? Check out her OnlyFans.
Put him in the Discord, dude. Put him in the Discord.
Hey, check out this picture of Red Dela Cruz. I mean, I don't mind that one, but
yeah. Look at Alex, man. He's trying to keep a straight face, dude. We know you're laughing, dude. We know you're laughing. Come on.
I can't say it. Alex, where can we find your work?
So my byline is on MMA Mania, and just check me out being a dumbass on Twitter. That's
Oh yeah, one more question, man. If I credit you, Alex Behunen, what's the site I have to credit? MMA Mania still, or do you have other ones?
Yeah, just MMA Mania. That's
okay.
That's me.
Cool.
Anything you want to say, Marcel, really quick before we get out of here?
Yeah, man, Adam, you got a beautiful haircut.
Yeah, no, my hair grows so slow now.
Who are you leaning on Burns versus Brady?
Sean Brady.
Yeah, me too. I think so too.
How are you, Alex? Same?
I think so too. Who are you leaning on, Francis versus Henan?
Francis.
I think so too, but man, that's
betting odds were close to that fight, which surprises me because I think Francis destroys him personally.
I don't know.
Alex,
it's a very dangerous fight.
Alex, who do you think?
I think he got destroyed by Joshua. What do you say?
Who do you think Alex is going to win between Jessica and Natalia? And why do you pick Natalia?
Man, I think
that one I'm still thinking about Marcel.
Yeah,
100%, dude.
It's a difficult fight. It's a difficult fight. Yeah.
I think it's if Natalia gets to Jessica Andrade, she's gonna be she's the sky's the limit, bro. But that's a tough fight, bro. It's a tough fight.
I agree.
No, I agree. All right, we'll let you go, Alex. I was gonna say, Marcel, we'll do it. Can you do a real quick fight announcement with me for like 10 minutes?
Man, I have enough of your face. Yeah, of course I can.
Yeah,
no
dude.
problem.
So he's gonna come back on. I literally have 10 minutes to do this before I have to start packing, guys. Like I haven't started packing Alex. I'm leaving tomorrow morning or afternoon too. I gotta be there at the airport at noon, so I got some time, but I have not packed. And sitting here drinking a beer, talking about fucking horrible judging, and I should be packing my bags, but I got priorities here, right? So once again, Alex, we really appreciate you, man. Thanks so much, dude. And guys, stick around for a second if you want. We'll do some fight announcements really quickly. If not, we'll talk to you guys in a week. Like I said, I'll be on a trip, so we're gonna have to figure out the time, but it might be like Monday instead of Sunday or something like that. I don't know if I want to be.
It's Monday. It's Sunday. Let's go.
We'll talk to you guys. But yeah, Alex, once again, man, really appreciate it.